My older sister Jenny and I both gained weight easily, so our mother made the decision that we could eat nothing but the diet meals she made. I followed her rules as best I could. I did not even dare drink an extra drop of water, but when I stepped on the scale a month later, I weighed 300 pounds. I rushed into Jenny's room and found her in a tight dress posing in front of the mirror. She smiled at me. "Shannon, does this dress look good on me?" Then, I saw the number on her scale. I could hardly believe it. She was down to 90 pounds. I suspected something was wrong with Mom's diet meals, so I watched everything she did, from buying groceries to cooking. As soon as my meal was ready, I carried it straight to my room so that no one could do anything with it. Another month passed and my weight climbed to 500 pounds. Stretch marks covered my body and my blood pressure reached 200. I lost my job because of my weight, my boyfriend dumped me without warning, and my health problems tortured me. I fell into deep despair. I refused to eat Mom's meals anymore and demanded that they take me to the hospital for gastric sleeve surgery. By then, I weighed 800 pounds. I had severe hypertension, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and advanced heart failure. On the second day after the surgery, I died at home from a severe infection. When I opened my eyes again, I had regressed to the day Mom first started making our meals. "Jenny, Shannon, dinner's ready." Mom's familiar voice came from outside my room. I walked out and saw 2 diet meals on the table, the exact same ones from my previous life. Jenny's meal was on the right, mine was on the left. They looked very simple. Each had a piece of pan-fried fish, a few pieces of broccoli, and a serving of brown rice. They looked the same as the ones being sold outside. My hand shook as I gripped my fork. In my previous life, Jenny had lost weight eating these meals. Meanwhile, I had gained 100 pounds in a month. Was there something different about our portions? I looked at Jenny. "Sis, I want to switch meals with you." Mom dropped her spatula with a clatter. She hurried out of the kitchen, her voice a little nervous as she said, "They're exactly the same. Why do you want to switch?" Jenny was also speechless. "What are you up to again? Eat your own food." The harder they resisted, the more certain I became that something was wrong with my meal. I snatched Jenny's plate and started shoving the food into my mouth. Jenny rolled her eyes but said nothing more as she simply ate mine. However, Mom's expression darkened. She looked as though she was about to object, but then she turned around and went back to the kitchen. For the next 3 days, I ate Jenny's meals, thinking that I would lose weight for sure. My heart pounded as I stepped onto the scale. The numbers flickered before settling at 220 pounds. My heart skipped a beat. I had gained 20 pounds in 3 days. That was impossible. I smashed the scale in a rage, scattering pieces across the floor. Then, I ran to the supermarket and bought the most expensive scale they had. I opened the box right there and stepped on it. 220 pounds. The number had not changed. I broke down in tears as other shoppers stopped and stared. An older woman who was there shopping for groceries pulled me aside. "Young lady, the hospital has a weight management clinic now. I lost 50 pounds there. You should go take a look too." I thanked her and hurried home. Then, I asked Mom, "Can you take me to the weight management clinic?" Before she could answer, Jenny walked out of my room carrying a large bag of potato chips. "Shannon, you're sneakily eating junk food every day, and now you want to go to a weight management clinic? Are you crazy? Mom even quit her job to make these diet meals for us. Can you show some gratitude and stop stuffing yourself?" I tried to explain that the chips were old and that I had stopped eating them long ago, but before I could, Mom came over and held up her phone. "Shannon, I already booked you an appointment. We'll go tomorrow." I had not expected her to agree so quickly. Behind her, Jenny rolled her eyes out of annoyance. "Keep spoiling her, Mom." At the hospital, I went through every test they offered. Even if I had inherited a tendency to gain weight, I could not have gained this much so quickly. Something had to have gone wrong. The doctors there had treated plenty of patients with obesity. Surely they could solve my issue. The doctor flipped through my test results, and a knowing smile crossed his face. "Young lady, if you want to lose weight, you need to stop lying first."